In ancient times, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were thriving but deeply sinful places. Their people were known for their arrogance, greed, and immoral behavior. These cities had become so corrupt that their wickedness reached the ears of God. As an act of justice, God decided to investigate the situation and, if necessary, bring judgment upon them. Abraham, a righteous man and servant of God, was informed of this decision. Filled with compassion, Abraham pleaded with God to spare the cities if righteous people could be found among the inhabitants. Abraham began by asking if God would spare the cities for the sake of 50 righteous people. God agreed, and Abraham continued to negotiate, lowering the number repeatedly until God promised to withhold destruction if even 10 righteous individuals could be found. Despite Abraham's intercession, it became clear that such righteousness was absent in Sodom and Gomorrah. Meanwhile, 2 angels, sent by God, arrived in Sodom. Lot, Abraham's nephew, lived there with his family. Recognizing the visitors as divine messengers, Lot urged them to stay in his home, offering them hospitality and safety. However, the men of Sodom, driven by their depravity, surrounded Lot's house. They demanded that the visitors be handed over to them for immoral purposes. Lot, desperate to protect his guests, pleaded with the crowd and even offered his daughters in their place. The crowd, however, grew more violent and attempted to break down the door. At this point, the angels intervened, pulling Lot inside and striking the mob with blindness, preventing them from finding the door. They then warned Lot that the city would be destroyed and instructed him to gather his family and flee immediately. Lot hesitated, but the angels seized him, his wife, and his daughters by the hand and led them out of the city. As they fled, the angels gave a clear command. They were not to look back or stop anywhere in the plain. Lot and his family ran toward the safety of a small town named Zoar. However, during their escape, Lot's wife disobeyed the command and looked back at the burning city. In doing so, she was turned into a pillar of salt as a punishment for her disobedience. Lot and his daughters continued their journey and reached Zoar safely. As morning dawned, fire and sulfur rained down from the heavens, consuming Sodom, Gomorrah, and the surrounding areas. The fertile plains that once surrounded these cities were transformed into a desolate wasteland. The destruction was a powerful demonstration of God's judgment against unrepentant sin and corruption. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah serves as a stark warning about the consequences of moral decay and disobedience to God's commands. It also highlights the importance of righteousness and the intercessory power of the faithful, as seen through Abraham's plea for mercy.